You might be wondering why I'm up at 4:52. There's a good reason, and I'm really excited to be awake. Going to a playing lesson with Coach Will Robbins. He happens to be a couple hours away though, so the early start, but it's all good. I can't wait to show you what this is all about.
We're gonna play level scorecard 1, so that means get to the scoring zone, get into the scoring zone within 2 shots on a par 4 with inside 100, right? And then 3 on a par 5 and 1 on a par 3. But what we're gonna do is we're also gonna play levels 2, 3, and 4. So if you hit a great drive and you're only 150 yards out, you might say, well, I'm gonna try and get within inside 25 yards of the green. But we're just going to start to take a look at what shot selections you should have to make sure you don't get any X's on this scorecard. It's all going to be check marks. So first one's going to be, let's peg it up. Let's go ahead and play whatever it takes to get inside the 100-yard marker in 2 shots on this hole. Whatever you have to hit, I don't care what you have to do, but I want check marks on all of it. Stay there. So we know the miss can't be left here, right? But the other thing here is we know the miss can't be left because the pin is tucked on the left. So realistically right now, with that said, our miss can literally be anywhere hard right. Because from there, all I have to do is play back across onto the green. Does that make sense?
Hole.
Yeah, exactly. Dean, show us the way, man. Own it. Here we're going to go. So first of all, Chris, for you, first rule you broke is number 3, so put an X on number 3, not getting out of trouble. Okay. Second rule you broke is because you played a risky shot, which is number 6, so put an X on that one, right? Okay. Next one is you got a penalty stroke, number 2, put an X on that.
No, the idea is get the more X's.
The more X's, the better, right? If you can fill this entire thing on a hole, you're guaranteed to make triple digits. Okay, so miss shot. So you fill out number 2. Then you short-sided yourself on your chip because you were chipping from that side of the hole. Right. So short-sided. Number 7, you broke that rule too. Number 10, started poorly. Okay. And then number 1, you missed a short putt. So what I'm saying is that this is what happens. The first gear of the game of golf, all you're trying to do...
I didn't underclub though. Can I circle that one?
You can circle that. That's positive. But the idea here, guys, is look, I teed off into the junk intentionally, pulled out a sand wedge, played to the middle of the fairway, and got myself out of trouble. And instead of trying to make it up in one shot, I said, look, if I can get myself out of trouble and then just get myself on the green and give myself a putt for par, if I miss it, I miss it, but I make a bogey every time. So it's this idea of getting off the start line is the key thing. Is to get 8 of 10. Okay, lag putting, I want you to do from 15 feet to 50 feet. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the 4-foot circle. So what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and lag putt into the 4-foot circle that you just did. Remember we did that the other day? And out of 9 putts, I want you to try and get 7 into that 4-foot circle. But I want you to lengthen this out to 50 feet. 9 holes chipping around the green. I want you to land it 2 paces on. Right? Because today you started pitching. Remember how we were talking about landing it right on the front of the green and using the right clubs? So again, now what I want you to do from there is I want you to chip and play 9 holes chipping. And if you did 9 holes in 3 or better, it'd be a 27, right?
Yeah.
I want you to do a 25. I'll explain this to you, Cordy, kind of what we're going over here. The importance of, for a player like Dean, who just played this, Dean, we showed you this last week, is Dean's going to be hitting about 2 greens around, maybe 1, you know, at shooting above 100, which means realistically, even when he's in at 125 yards, he's going to be missing the green 75% of the time. So what we've got to start to look at is that we're going to have 17 missed opportunities per round. Does that make sense? You've got 17 greens around you're going to miss, which means we have 17 opportunities to get up and down. So if we can increase your down in 2 to 10%, you'll go from 95 to 93. to 25%, you get to 91. To 40 to 17, you get to 40. 45%, you actually get to an 87 without working on the full swing. How do we do that? Proximity from the hole and making more putts. So what yours would look like, Cordy, is more like this. So what we're saying here is, today what we do is we took the stats showing you what your proximity was from the hole, what your putt first distance was. So when you chipped today, it was pretty good. You hit it to 2 feet. When you hit the green, you were 45 feet, 30 feet, 21 feet, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 70 feet. So we're looking at proximities from the hole, and then from here what we're able to do is basically create our stats saying that how many greens did you hit, how close do you hit it, and what's your up and down percentages. So if I can increase in your short game, you getting it closer to the hole, to these distances, and increase your putts made, then you would shoot a lower score. So for example, this is Pete Crone shooting a 79. This is how I get him to a 72. Whether he can do it or not, I don't know, but he's getting up and down 35% of the time green side. I need to get him to 60%. That'll drop 2.6 shots. If I can increase his greens in regulation, that'll give me another 2 greens per round, which will drop him by 3.4 shots. So it's things like this that will help you. So really, your stats will look more like this, and Dean, this is where you'll get to is, these are my rounds. But for example, if I look at this, Poppy Hills, par 71, 17 out of 18 times I was in the scoring zone, inside 100. When I had one opportunity from 50 to 100 yards, I hit it to 25 feet. One opportunity from 25 to 50, I hit it to 30 feet. 5 opportunities chipping, I hit to average to 8.4 feet. 11 opportunities to hit the green, and I averaged 22 feet. I got up and down in 13 of 18 times, 25 putts, missed 1 putt inside of 3 feet, and I shot a 69. So with this, now I can create the plan for you, Cordy, to realize, like, okay, what I would say this round is, I didn't chip it close enough to the hole, 8.4 feet. If I look at this stat right back here, at 8 feet, the best players in the world are going to be making less than 50%. So inside of 25 yards, for my scrambling to be less than 50% is horrendous. So really, what we're looking for is, I want that proximity to be less than about 5 feet, because inside of 25 yards, best player in the world is 4 feet. So it's really just starting to look at proximities and starting to build a practice plan based off of, what your goal is, where you want to get to, and tracking those stats. And that's obviously on this scorecard where we've got, I'll show you my scorecard, like a full version of it. So you can see, these are the greens I hit in regulation, these are my proximities, but then when I missed the green, I was 20 feet, 15 feet, 2 feet, so that helped. 2 feet, that helped. But again, you can see I probably dropped shots here, you know what I'm saying? So the idea is that understanding proximities from the hole, to me it's like, can I get 18 of 18 inside of 25 yards or green and red? So that's really kind of where I would take you, is proximities from the hole is what I would have you working on.
Thank you so much to Will for having me out for the playing lesson. I had a great time and I learned a lot. Here's what's really cool, is Will made these concepts of how to get better really simple. So these players, they're trying to break 100, get into the 90s consistently. He had a level 1 scorecard and certain expectations that they should have, certain rules, you heard a few of them, that they should have on their game. So changing the expectations from every shot needs to be hit solidly to, if you hit a worm burner and you shank it out to the right, you still have a chance to play well and shoot the score that you need to shoot, which is you're trying to shoot a 90. So he had that, and then also these different levels. So you get done with level 1, you're shooting the 90s, then there's a level 2, and then you're gonna work on this, this, and this, and these are your expectations. This is what you're working on. It was really simple, and it was great to see these students understand that. It's all about changing expectations and getting people in the right mindset of how to actually get better at golf. And Will did it really well. If you're a golf coach, check out what he's doing over at robinsgx.com. You can learn about how he helps other coaches implement this type of playing lesson structure and group coaching formats into their instruction. If you're a student, check out Will Robbins Golf and see if he's going to be near your area anytime soon.